Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you the most common mistakes in tournament poker. I'm very happy that all of you have tuned in, and throughout this presentation we want to understand a little bit better the reoccurring mistakes players generally make in tournament poker with a bunch of goals in mind. I'm going to show you this in a second. But beforehand I want to give a brief disclaimer. The things I'm going to talk about and the examples I'm going to show you are not necessarily the biggest leaks that are costing you or your opponents the absolute most amount of money. But they are very common situations, things that you will recognize very, very frequently when you play tournament poker, and that are easily recognizable. And that would also be my goal for this session, to give you patterns that come up very often, that are easy to recognize, and that you can execute on. I want to show you things that many of you will have leaks in yourselves, so that you have a starting point to work on your game if you like, and also highlight potential opportunities for exploits against most player pools. To extrapolate these kind of leaks or mistakes that I found, I had, I thought about the in-game experience I have. I looked at my own database of hands that I played online, and I've also reviewed a lot of databases for students in the past, also very recently, and the patterns that I'm showing you are coming up over and over again. The players I have looked at for this are mainly recreationals. Of course, especially recreationals are very individual. Everyone plays very differently, but you can have a look at the aggregate of all these players, and you can make statements about the general tendencies. And similar things are possible for weaker regulars. Besides the absolutely strongest players in the game, everybody has leaks, and on average they are very similar for the most part. And if you look at these two groups, recreationals and weaker regulars, you will end up with the vast majority of the pools that you play, no matter which game you play or which tournaments you play. Usually it's just a question of magnitude. How big are those tendencies? And generally speaking, the weaker the player is, the bigger the tendency is going to be, usually on average in the direction that I'm going to show you.